course of the movie makes a growth from the sounds are very animalistic at the beginning, sort of groans and muttering and soft growling as if it's an animal. And eventually it learns some words in English like Elliot and phone home. And so I had lots of animals I could use to build the inhale and exhale. Or for sick ET, some sick breathing, thank you Peg for getting the flu and being sick in bed, breathing without knowing that I'm recording you. But ultimately it came down to finding a voice for those words. And Spielberg, we first had in mind getting someone who could do interesting impressions, strange voices. We listened to some different performers doing it, and it was okay, but you could still detect that it was a person, and we wanted something that had completely detached from being a human. One day I was in a camera store near a block away from where our little studio was. I was buying some film, and I was in one corner of the store, and I could hear this strange voice at the counter. I couldn't see who it was initially. A voice saying something like, "I'll use my credit card." Something like that. And I said, "Oh my gosh, that's E.T." Ding! And so I looked around, and it was a woman. Later, her name was Pat Welsh. She was a local resident in her 60s. And as she said later, her voice was this way because she had smoked, for 50 years. She wasn't embarrassed, I guess. But I waited outside on the sidewalk until she came out of the store, and I said to her, I work for Lucasfilm, I make special sounds. Would you like to be an alien in a movie? It's a great line, picking someone up. But anyhow, she thought about it, and she said, "Well, I always wanted to be an actress." So she checked with her husband, and he looked Lucasfilm out to make sure you weren't just, some kind of terrorist organization or something. And he let her come down, and we recorded her. And I started running her through the paces, getting her to speak a certain monotone fashion. See, the thing about her voice was that if you didn't see her, you didn't really know the age or the gender of the source of this sound. And that was key to making it give the illusion of it being an alien of some kind. I had done the same technique in Return of the Jedi for the Ewoks. We had gathered together a group of women who had lower than average natural pitch to their voice. And you can slow those down, and you can play with it a bit, and it becomes very effective in terms of the illusion for the audience. They don't hear it as a child or an old man or a woman, something. It becomes a mystery, and that's good for creating an alien voice. So Pat did the recording. Spielberg had an interesting idea that he didn't want to know what I was doing. He just wanted to hear results. In other words, he was in Los Angeles, I was near San Francisco. He would send a scene up from the movie, a temporary 2-minute long scene they're cutting together, and I would put sounds in it for E.T. as an audition, send it back, and then he could see it and hear it in the context of the movie, and not being aware of how it was done, he could put himself in the perspective of the audience. So that was good. That was a smart thing to do, because if you tell somebody how you did it, they often can't get beyond the trick, they'll just hear it for, it's a pig, or whatever. So that's how we worked it. He liked that particular voice, and so I went ahead and worked with Pat for a number of weeks and fine-tuning the different performances. We would build things into her words, a strange little animals exhale. We had some nice recordings of a pleasant little sea otter. You know, it's a little mammal that swims in the river. I had a friend that owned one. I mean, we could record it. It also did the shrieks for E.T. when E.T. was scared. Slowed down a lot. And so that's really the process for coming up with that voice. So it was another alien creature to put on the finished list.
What was